there's a person who has a skill and attitude, I now tend to choose someone who has better attitude and skills. As far as this person is trainable, open up to the growth. Because we used to work with someone who is really skill tacky, like they're very good at what they do, but a lot of time they don't have integrity.
Are you a scaling SaaS founder? Ready to make the leap from leading a team to leading an organization? Join us each week as we refill your think tank with actionable tips and strategies from great business minds you know and those you don't know yet. This is SaaS Fuel with your host, 5-time entrepreneur, SaaS founder, and globetrotting adventurer, Jeff Maines.
Welcome back to the SaaS Fuel podcast, where our operations are like a backstage crew at a big show. You may not see the work, but without it, nothing would run smoothly. I'm your host, Jeff Maines. I help B2B SaaS founders like you grow from traction to scale. Here, growth is more than just numbers. It's about crafting a future-proof company, premium valuation, and leaders who build a business of significance while living epic, adventurous lives. On the show today, we're getting into the nuts and bolts of what truly fuels growth, operations, and processes. Scaling isn't just about ambition, it's about creating systems that make expansion possible without driving everyone to burnout. And here's the hard truth: two of the biggest barriers to scaling are a lack of processes and a team that just isn't aligned. I see this all the time. And in this episode, we'll break down how to design workflows that actually work, eliminate bottlenecks, and get everyone rowing in the same direction. From refining processes to ensuring every team member knows where they fit in the big picture, we're talking about setting the foundation for growth that doesn't just add on, it multiplies. So here's the question: what's holding your company back from smooth, sustainable scaling? Stick around because today's insights could be the key to breaking through your next growth barrier. Our founder on Tuesday was Sam Rosen, founder and CEO of DeskPass. We explored the evolving landscape of co-working and flexible workspaces, their SaaS, and how they solve this with a very cool solution and marketplace. We dug into what founders need to know about balancing supply and demand in the co-working world, building a strong remote culture, and designing workspaces that truly support team autonomy and transparency. If you're wondering how the future of corporate work strategies will impact your own business, this is an episode you can't afford to miss. And our expert guest last week was Leslie Shree, founder of Productive Day and creator of Taskology, the system that can unlock more hours in your day by cutting through the task overload and transforming your inbox into a productivity ally. And I definitely need that. I don't know about you. If you've ever dreamed of wrapping up your day with a clear head and a shorter to-do list, then Leslie's insights are exactly what you need. This episode could be the game changer you've been waiting for. Every leader I know needs this, including myself. My guest today is Joanna Zhang. She is a business system multiplier who helps entrepreneurs scale by building efficient support teams and freeing them to focus on their genius. With years of experience in financial planning and a personal journey from startup hurdles to creating your own star team, Joanna now shares her strategies for building robust systems, empowering team members, and guiding businesses toward lasting growth. Welcome someone who is helping leaders create thriving, self-sustaining companies, Joanna Zhang. Hey, Joanna, welcome to SaaS Fuel.
Oh, thanks for having me. Lovely to spend time with you all.
I'd love to hear a little bit about how you started doing what you're doing. You went from a financial planner to starting your own business and shifted from finance to really supporting entrepreneurs and scaling their business with your skills.
Yeah, right. It sounds interesting, right? It's like a
Yes,
totally
fascinating.
two different areas. I think my journey was like I was professional in the bank, and since I started to be self-employed, it was a purely transition from me as a professional into a business mode. And I believe probably many of your audience may experience same because it's in the technology space. A lot of people are the artists, right, or engineers,
Yes.
or they have ideas, and they transition into a journey, become a business owner. There's a lot of mindset changes, but anyway, regardless, while I was a financial planner, I need a lot of help for my own business. I need IT support, account support, social media, leads generation, admin, all those sort of areas. And I found a lot of them I'm not good at it, especially technology. So I need to outsource it straight away. But during that process, I had a lot of challenges and hurdles working with others. Like probably anyone who worked with a VA before me experienced the same thing. So, but lucky enough, because I'm not DIY style, I have to delegate in a way. So I formulate and started to form a star team together to support my business to start with. And I realized there's a lot of my, like the business owners, they need a similar support. So I started to share this resource with others. At the same token, it's probably its journey also to explore what exactly inside of my heart, what is my genius. And that's why our business is called Operation Genius. Our mission and passion is to help business owners, or start from myself, focus on the genius, do the things we love to do, and delegate the rest. And that's how I started.
That's so good. Delegation is something that I think is very difficult for anybody, but for leaders and entrepreneurs especially, because it's our baby, and then we start adding people, and they're really good, and so we want them to work in their genius, but it's hard to let things go. Uh, how do we do that in a way that works for them, but there's still accountability and things get done well?
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. Let go of control. I experienced that too.
Yes.
And I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo. I'm a perfectionist before, right? It used to be. So, but I think in a lucky in a way for me is because I'm not DIY style. I had to delegate. So yeah, it kind of pushed me into the field that I had to find a solution. So during that period, when I start to delegate, of course I start with my incompetence first, right? Like the one I told you, like the social media or IT side of things. And when I started to gradually delegate more things, I find because I'm very particular, I'm very picky, to be honest, and a lot of things I can't really. I didn't know how to really delegate, to be honest, at the very beginning. And then I used to find out. I gave some instructions and comes out totally different, and I felt frustrated and disappointed. But at that particular moment, because I had no other options, probably that's lucky for me in a way that I had to find a solution. So I realized that there's a few things. Communications, it's a huge part of it because our mind are wired very differently. We are business owners. A lot of time we are big picture thinker. We are structure. But maybe in the SaaS field, a lot of your audience are detailed oriented. So there's a two extreme, right? If we are big thinker and then our VA is a detailed doer, our instruction needs to really specific, tell them one, two, three, four. Give as much details as we can. However, if we are detailed oriented type of thinker and put a lot of details, we got to give a little bit structure. It's a bit like a balance. I think to understand our own style is very important. But in the nutshell, we are wired differently. We got to give them something they can understand. The first thing, communication. The second thing is expectation. I think when we delegate, we expect that things comes out. Wow, me. For a lot of time, it's not like that. Yeah, and then often we find once first we hand out, it comes like something. There are always something we can improve and change. And I used to find it as a foundation from there. If we actually give some other tips, things will come back surprising us if we give them a space with a guidance, let them to really shine their light. Yeah, and I think, but also ultimately, lack of control at the end of the call. It's about a security, because I used to be controlling freak. I can't really let other I love to control things. I wanted to things go along with my plan, this and that is because I'm lacking of security inside of me. Feel like what if I screwed up? What if they screwed up? What if something goes wrong? All those negativities in my head. But later on I find, well, if we can just let go of that part and give other people a chance, we often find that there's unlimited possibilities in front of us. Mm,
That's really
it's a
good.
magic. Yeah.
Yeah. How has your leadership approach evolved then from being like overly picky to giving employees space to learn and grow and maybe even make some mistakes?
Oh wow, that's such a good question because that's exactly my journey of leadership. I recently learned from Tony Robbins about a few leadership styles, and I found 100% definitely follow that path through. Like the first stage of the leadership is a title leader, right? So as a business owner, when we start a business, everyone calls us directors or CEOs or whatsoever, and we have a title there and kind of put us in a position that I got to let you do this, do this, do this. And that's what that was my controlling freak say. You know what I mean? I said so. You know, you got to do this. But gradually, when I improve my communication, understand more about each other's shoes, I started to move into a serving leader stage. And in that stage, is more like instead of just ask them to do what I want to do, I start to think of what they really need. Instead
Mm,
of command, I give them support. It's a different position that one actually give them more support and guidance. They feel appreciated and they have a more inspiration and a motivation. And it turns out things start to work out much more smoother. And I found a lot of business are probably when we start to delegate, a lot of people probably can't go over that phase. That's why there is a either character crash or maybe power game or discomfort, all those things, and they feel like they want to hold on to it. And that's what I find. Yeah. So if we can actually change your mindset, just support them, guide them, and they'll be wonderful. And the next stage will be the spiritual leader. Spiritual leader, the oh, that's interesting one. When I serve, right? Sometimes I used to be a people pleaser. uh, because of that, I give a lot other people a lot of chances, which means sometimes I can lose my boundary.
mm,
Somehow, I give
yeah,
other people too much chances. Sometimes they screw up, you know. And some people may experience that phase that oh, I'm really patient, I have compassion and sympathy, understand, support, everything like that. But this person still doesn't behave, right?
right.
Or maybe doesn't perform. Why is that? Then through that experience and the journey, I've learned to balance my boundary and leading part. Boundary means something I'm not okay with it. So since I started practice my spiritual work on self-love, I start to love myself more and accept myself more. I found my boundary actually becomes much, much more stronger. I won't let us to mess up my boundary very
Mm,
easily. You know, I stand on my ground. You know, if they say no, that's no. Yeah, I give you chances, I give you the opportunities, but this is the foundation. You can't mess up with it. So since then, actually, our team, everything as that, we structure much better, and the team environment is much better, and we can deliver much better result and quality work to the clients. Yeah, and I think that journey actually lead me through my personal growth journey. Start from controlling freight and become support. And when I support, start to hold the boundary and balance the love and the boundary, become a spiritual leader. And now in the last stage of the leadership, I started to train other leaders, have other leaders become true leader through that journey as well. Yeah, and that's really inspiring. Mm.
yeah, that's really good. Well, you call yourself the business system multiplier, which I think is a great, great title. How do you help entrepreneurs streamline the processes to grow their businesses autonomously, to be able to delegate, and then what role do systems play in achieving that?
All right. So at the very beginning, I didn't realize the system's importance because I was really good at, having the team members to work with this. Then I found one problem. For example, sometimes when we have really good team members and someone may have something happen, right? Either go away for a holiday or maybe even have a career change. So everything has been trained up, has to start all over again. And I realized, just having good team members is not good enough at all. And then ultimately, I realized we can't duplicate people, but we can duplicate the system. So since then, because of that mistake experience, go all over again, I started to capture the steps and systems together. But to be honest, at the very beginning, I had no idea how to start with. And I didn't have any training. But what I found is that if something that we start first step to create the skeleton, like if we have a 5 bedroom house, at least to started to categorize them into different areas in the sales, accounting, or IT, and the
Sure.
marketing, and like admin. So at least we create those spaces. And once we have something, even it's very simple steps, we started to put over there. We call systemology. Actually, we have a system in place internally now to really start to capture each single some people might be different. Some people maybe want to capture every details before they start, right? That's a different thing, different style. I think it again is a balance. If someone like me that we're not detail thinker, we're big structure thinker, you can start from the skeleton, but gradually fill out the bones and the flesh along the way. And if you're a very detail oriented thinker, probably I would suggest that you start to capture something, but not delaying your action. Do straight away and kickstart something, not wait until I had to wait for it's perfect. So, yeah, because I believe we can always define on the way, and this journey is for everyone to learn, to grow, and that's all the meaning behind all the challenges, isn't it? It's for us to learn, for us
Yeah.
to improve onto the next stage. Yeah.
Oh, that's really, really good. So, what about like hiring, team building? What are some key challenges you faced in building your own support team? And then how do you overcome those? And then how do you help clients overcome those as well? I mean, it could be, turnover, training, just even hiring the right talent in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, that's very common challenges because at the very beginning when I work with VAs, because the VA model is more like they find a talent for you, right? And a lot of
Right.
VA companies they haven't worked with the VA themselves. So a lot of time we're facing the chance that this person is with us now, and then it turns out this person can't really deliver what they promised, and or maybe is not that trustworthy, or maybe not that reliable.
Mm.
Every different sort of issues, and I personally experienced that. Then I gradually know that actually when I interview, of course, I improve my skill as well, because I find ultimately if there's a person has a skill and attitude, I now tend to choose someone who has better attitude than the skills. As far as this person is trainable, open up to the growth. Because we used to work with someone who is really skilled techie, like they're very good at what they do, but a lot of time they don't have integrity. I'm not sure whether any audience
Mm.
experience that. The work is wow, but it always make me feel like frustrated.
Yes.
It may happen. Yeah, some good talent people like that. So I gradually find out I always put attitude first and then skill second. As far as this person is trained, but give everyone a chance to have a room to grow, and then find the same vibe that the person has the same uh, passion and mission towards what we do. Because if we actually find someone only looking for the money, or only for the something which is not matching with our value system, ultimately, no matter how good this person is, we can't go very far. So I think alignment on the value is crucial. And then probably another thing is that once I experience that, so I normally have this team member. I become better and better in the hiring, and I become better and better encouraging and inspiring them to find and filter out the good team members. Then that's how I start to form the starting with our service. And when we
Okay.
actually provide our service with our clients, the clients can have a peace of mind that they don't have to go through the hurdle I challenge again, because they even help my own business. I tried with them, personally experienced with them. I know what's their capabilities and the attitude, everything like that. So I can customize the team and support them. That's one thing. The other thing is that we actually put a lot of other layers into the team to avoid frustration, such as QA part, meeting the deadline and meeting the quality, project management part, like that we can actually have a structure to get the process going along, to remove all the stress I used to have. I have to watch everything, like to make sure things are happening on the order and about that line, those sort of things. So I can focus on the genius. So that's how we actually wrap up everything based on my personal experience to remove all those stress from the business owner. Mm.
That's really good. And I love, putting that together. all the way through, and taking those learnings and experiences in your own business, and making sure that that's streamlined for the clients, and placing people there. Yeah. When you're working with your clients and you're talking about them, helping them focus on their strengths and delegating operational tasks, how do they prioritize those and say, this is strengths versus maybe what they like to do, or maybe something they like to do they're not as good at? How do you prioritize those, or is it always really focus on the things you're best at and love, and then delegate, or how do you see it?
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's actually a part of the process when we actually started to work with the clients because I'm part of the team as well as a strategist on the back office operations side. So because I'm business owner too, so I totally understand where is everyone's at. And then it's more like collaboration to really explore and prioritize the things on their plate. So our ultimate goal, first of all, the first step is to really get rid of the urgent task because a lot of time what is stressing us is something on our plate and then holding us back, and then it give a lot of stress, and we can't move faster and go forward. So we want to get rid of those things first, make things happen. That's our first mission for the business owners. A lot of businesses may go to a lot of different coaching sessions and this and that, have a lot of strategies, but because of the action is not in the place, so those things doesn't go along the way. So we want to make things happen according to the most urgent things on their mind to relieve that stress as a first layer. And then second layer is once the first urgent thing is off their mind, they can become a bit relaxed, right? And then they can start to have a space to think about some other things strategically. At that time, we started to find out the momentum for the business. For certain tasks in the business, probably by the social media or maybe certain newsletters or maybe lead generation, all these different areas, there are momentums. So once we create a momentum, it's more like we create a mini little machine in the business and let them start to roll by themselves. And that's to lay the foundation for the business owner can eventually step away from the business can still run. So that's the second stage, right? And then the third stage is once everything, the first step, second step is done, we're going to start to scale and leverage because we have a full skill set in the team that we can pick and choose anytime. So the business, they don't need to worry about, I'm not ready to hire another person. Oh, this role is not ready. I wait for it. They don't have to do it anymore. They can leverage the fully functional virtual team to really scale up for the future. So there's a
Mhm.
few steps along the way. And as a partner, I like to hold their hands through and to really grow together. And that's our ultimate mission and passion. Mm.
Yeah. Well, in order to delegate well, systems and processes are crucial. And being in operations, I mean, that's something that you're really good at. You coming from a sales and marketing background, it's something I'm not nearly as good at. How do we put those in place? I mean, because for business continuity, hiring team, making sure that the things are handed off well. Do you have a secret formula or tips on how to create the systems and processes to make that happen?
Mm. Wonderful question. I think now it's a matter of fact of teamwork and the leveraging the resource around us because I believe there's no perfect person, but they can be a perfect team. And the teamwork can really be an ultimate power to really create a journey of a success, ultimate success. For me, for example, like the question you just mentioned about a system, I'm not detailed thinker, to be honest. If you want me to
Okay.
capture all the details, I can't do it. I just can't. I'll fall asleep. But what I'm good at is a structure. I know the
Ah,
big directions. So I will find someone who is really detail oriented, can be really detail capture the system together from our team to work together. I give them the direction, they put I give them the bone, they put the blood in the flesh. Yeah, makes sense. So that's a system. About the hiring, I hate doing researches, to be honest with you. I know some people may want to go through Upwork and this and that and to look for the talents, very detailed, and interview them, try them. They spend a lot of time, and there's a lot of clients tell me they spend a lot of time finally find this person. This person is not reliable. you know, like for me, because I don't like to do research. I'd love to leverage other people. So we work with a partner in the Philippines. We actually work with many years now since I started my own business. That they find a talent for me because they can source the valuable resource talent. They can screen them and they can do the background check. All I need to do is to I interview them to see whether our value match, right? And I work with them. And if there's anything happen with their account admin side, like the company is handling it. Why do I have to go through all those hassles? If there's any resource we can work well together, why not? Yeah, some people may say, yeah, they're more expensive. Well, you pay what you get for. I recently have a friend. She actually found someone, spent so much time, found someone online, and this person is driving her nuts. Yeah, it is cheap. And it's not worth it. So it depends on what you really want. I think at the end of the day, and ultimately, probably money is a tool for us to really enhance our experience, right? But of course, we know where to spend money for, and that's a value behind it. What was the last one? So, hiring system. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I just explained that part. Did you say another part? I forgot. So somehow mental block. Yeah,
Let's
but anyway,
see.
that was my experience
Okay.
with those areas. Mm.
Ready to dominate your market and skyrocket your revenue? Dive into Small Fish Big Pond, building a world class business that swims circles around competitors. This book is packed with powerful marketing and leadership insights guaranteed to transform your business and operate world class. Small Fish Big Pond delivers proven strategies to sharpen your marketing message, deliver unmatched value to your clients, and guide your prospects' buying journey to one inevitable conclusion that your company is the only solution for them. Inside, you'll find step by step frameworks and time tested growth principles to attract your ideal clients, convert them, and then turn them into your passionate brand ambassadors. Get your copy today in print, ebook, or audio at smallfishbigpond.com or on Amazon. Plus, remember every book sale supports charity. So dive in and make a difference. So, what are some common mistakes that founders make when they start thinking about adding to their team? I mean, it could be virtual, it could be full time. So, what are those mistakes and how do they avoid those pitfalls?
Right. I think the common challenge I could see the business owners face is that um, first of all, they feel like they have to find a perfect one before they start something. Um, and from my experience, I find a perfect one comes at divine timing. It's out of our control. Again, it's out of our control. If we put a lot of expectation on something, I have to find this person to start this project, it will end up again. Oh, maybe the universe can send us, where there's everything alignment. But a lot of time we may experience a lot of challenges, hurdles for us to learn to grow ourselves. So if we have that mindset in place, it will a lot of time delay, procrastinate our own process. And procrastination gave us a lot of stress, reduce the confidence. Actually, is the wind down process. So I found a lot of business because of that perfection, they hold up the process. That's it for the perfect person. Another scenario is that, um, for example, we have a team together, and then there are something shows up in the team, on the workload that they find, oh, this role is not ready yet. I don't want to hire another full time or part time, right? So I'll wait. I either wait or I do it. So the result is they either end up overstressed, overwhelmed because they are handling everything, and the same token, they delaying the process of the business growth because ultimately we are the bottleneck of the business. We are the only ones that stop its growing. Yeah, if we don't let go, if we don't find a chance to fill in those gaps, our business is gonna be just, yeah, you can't go, but it's gonna in the limbo side and make us sometimes feel like, why it's not quick enough, like that kind
Yes.
of feeling. Feel frustrated, I want to break through. How can I break through? So these challenges are very common, very common. Um, but by saying that, that's why actually because of this experience, I started to let go of the perfect scenario. I find if there's someone actually has this potential, has a good attitude, I love to plant seeds and give this person a space to grow together. And I found ultimately it's a win-win-win for everybody. And at the same token, because this model we build up as a multiple skills with the flexibility, because we don't lock in full time, part time, people can pick up, choose, and use upon. We call it fractional expert on demand. So actually, by saying that, we recently be recognized for our International Business Award as a world first fractional VA service, make us realize, oh, actually, that's exactly the thing that we want to provide to the business owner. That they don't have to hire full time, part time. When something comes up in the team, there's a gap. They do have a resource to fill in those gaps within their capabilities. So we wanted to be able to smooth that process when it grow. Yeah, fraction expert on demand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I know one mistake that I've made myself and I've seen is just like you said, looking for the perfect person is the just the expectations, especially early on in early hires, is they're looking for a person that has 25 different skills all in one person, and you wouldn't find that in anybody, let alone virtual. And it's just that expectation of I need somebody that can do everything and expect them to do it well, and then it doesn't go well because the expectations are ridiculous for anyone, and then they say, "Well, outsourcing doesn't work. The virtual thing just doesn't work in my business."
Oh, right. Yeah. You're not alone. Yeah. 100%. We want to find a perfect person that can do everything well. And then, as mentioned, that someone can be really versatile. I would say they are
Yes.
all rounders. They're all rounder. And I think that kind of stage is perfect for solopreneurs to start with, because a lot of solopreneurs need a PA or
Yes.
EA to support them. But when we started to, after that stage, we'll find if we wanted to really elevate business to another stage, we really need a team that everyone specialized in their own area. And
Right.
that's why we call it operations genius. Not only help clients focus on the genius, every team member in our business, they focus on their genius too. So and also this leads to another area of the time management and the energy management. Because you'll find, I don't know whether you feel the same. When you do the things you love to do, you're in the heart flow zone. You
Yes.
do things so super efficient with unlimited joyfulness and peacefulness. That kind of state give you enormous power to create something more extraordinary on our journey. So I find ultimately we wanted to help business owner more on the energy management even other than the time management, and there's a different layer. Yeah, so that's why our team member, they focus on the things they love to do too, and they can become better and better in their field. Yeah, and then they're happy about it.
Yes.
Everyone is win win win, again,
Yeah.
win 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 for everybody. Mm.
Yeah, when everybody is working on their greatest strengths and really being productive and doing well, everything
Yeah.
seems easier. It's a lot easier as a leader. It's easier for the team. Everybody's enjoying the work
Yeah,
because they're being productive and
exactly.
creative. Yeah.
100%, 100%. That was really good questions. And we all experience that, right?
Well, as we have people in those roles, you talked before about having backup plans, systems, procedures. How can businesses reduce the risk by not relying too heavily on one person or on individual talents?
Yeah, yeah, a very good question. And as mentioned that, because since I noticed that, realized we can't duplicate people, we have to rely on the system. So, one probably two things we be aware of. One thing is to really start to build a system, no matter where you are right now, either to really brush up or maybe start somewhere from zero, start somewhere, because we'll find once you have something, even if someone have something happen, not doing the work, someone else can pick it up straight away. But of course, this someone else needs to be really skilled, right, in the area.
Right.
We got to have our own essence, and you find the right resource to pick up the work like that, and there will be really smooth transition. Another thing is that having something in mind and make sure everything in our business, we have at least two-person know how to do it, because some of our team members, they have overlapped skills. That's why we structure team together. even though
Sure.
sometimes internal team has someone probably different issues, or they need to, sometimes there's a power out in the Philippines as well. So we need to have a backup stage in that. Every client's task, at least two-person know how to do it. So if this person can't do it, we can find another person. So we, again, reduce the stress for the business owners to put their hair out. Why it's not happening? So if we're managing our own team, suggest even we can be one of the backup, but of course, ultimately the best scenario is that we don't even become the backup.
Right.
we can be
Right.
uh, we can be on the different dimension, right? To look at it, when that all the machines started to running, we have some responsible person around it. We can have always make sure if this person have something happens, the other person can step in straight away. Yeah,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we will have a great peace of mind. We can travel everywhere with the phone just to work on the
Yes.
business.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
And then since you brought up machine, I have to ask about AI, and we're seeing that being used more and more
Mm.
for tasks and things like that in two ways. One, entrepreneurs using it to delegate and get tasks done, but it also for VAs and assistants and team members are using it to make themselves more productive. How are you seeing that used within your company and within the people that you're placing at clients?
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. AI is a very new trend that can really increase the productivity. And we actually embrace AI a lot. At the very beginning, probably in this industry, and I can sense some people may have a fear, especially in the VA field. They may feel like, oh, I'm going to be replaced. And then, luckily enough, when we actually hang out with everyone, the team members, we discuss about it. They actually remove the layer of fear of I'm going to be released because replaced, because everyone knows they have their own genius, and they're working on the genius. So they know if the essence part can't be replaced easily. So what we're going to do is that everyone actually share some different tips and how to use different AI tools to improve the productivity. And give you an example, we used to have menu these generation, for example, on LinkedIn, right? So team member is doing the outreaching process, but now because there's AI tools, the initial stage of the outreaching and the follow-up message can be done by the AI tools, which means that our team member can save that part of time into doing some more valuable collaboration or lead generation task. So for them, they're happy. They love the communication and then to collaborate and generate some meaningful conversations, other than just like a very repetitive, like a robot work. So yeah, it's ultimately we embrace it, and we actually encourage everyone to leverage the skill on that, and to really, yeah, we were even thinking that at one stage we want to have an AI team member, let's say in our team, right? Because that's a
Yeah.
trend. We're gonna work with the AI together, work as a friend, not really as an enemy. But again, boundary, I think is a balance. Again, at the end of the day, how we balance out to leverage and holding the safety net. Mm.
Yeah. Well, looking ahead, what trends do you see? I mean, AI, certainly being one of those, but what other trends do you see in the area of business system support, outsourcing strategies, and how are you evolving your business to stay ahead of those trends?
Hmm, interesting question. I always find, actually, I started my VA business 6 years ago.
Okay.
At that time, a lot of people, probably other than the BPO, a lot of small business owners are not familiar with the VA. And even until now, sometimes I say VA, some people say, what is VA?
Right.
But now, because pandemic, as everybody started to work from home, and luckily enough, this concept started to be really popular, because they realize there's cost-effective options, and they can really work out, even though regardless where this person is, right? People can work together. They realize there's a fact. So because of that, so the VA company, you can see the recent couple of years, the VA industries is booming. A
Yes.
lot of VA company shows up, right? Um, and I think I was very fortunate because my personal journey, my experience, I always focus on somehow. I'm just probably I'm not that realistic because I was focusing on problem solving. I know for a lot of companies model, if you find a talent hands-on for the hands-on, I can earn a lot of money, to be honest, right? Because the model is like that. But for
Sure.
me, my heart was lies in I had so much difficulties and I have a such wonderful resource. Why don't I share with others to stop their problem? To be honest, it was a bit hard to start with because a lot of people they don't understand what's our difference. But
Sure.
now there's another trend. You see, there's showing up a fractional. And I realized that's exactly what we did for many years ago. And they give us actually a really good um, motivation, this push to let us to show our secrets to the world. And given the award and recognition, and it also make us feel that what we do can really create industry impact to help a lot of business owners realize you don't have to always find a full-time part-time stuff. You can pick fractional expert, depends on your need from time to time. And we still want to focus on that model, even though that's challenging for us because it's fluctuating, because, from business model point of view, someone find a full time, hands off, money in, right? But for us, we have to constantly handle with different fluctuation. But that's our heart lies in. We believe if we truly have our heart to help others to solve the problem, the profits or the money side of things is just the outcome. It's not a
Sure.
purpose, but it's the outcome. Yeah, it's
That's great.
energy exchange, right? It's the way
Yes,
of
yes,
thinking.
that's
And
right.
yeah. So that's where we're at. Mm.
That's great. Well, where can people learn more about you and about the Operations Genius online?
Right. If you like, I'd love to actually share with your audience a genius framework. And this framework can actually, based on what we talk about, can give you a lot of ideas and tips. And
Yes,
then
that's
there is a
great.
way for your audience to find me as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So they can either connect me on LinkedIn or download this guide, and then we will keep in touch. Yeah. So I can share with
Excellent.
you our contact details later
Okay.
on. Mm.
Excellent. And we'll make sure and put that in the show notes so they know exactly where to get that.
Sure, sure. Great. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being on SaaS Fuel. It's a great conversation.
Thank you. Oh, but before we end, I just want to ask you, Jed, um, because you're in this field, you're in your industry field for many years, and I know you're doing amazing things. You have a heart to give your value, right, to your
Yes.
audience. So, what are the biggest takeout from you from our conversation today, and you think can really add value to your audience?
I think delegating is a big one because as founders, a lot of times we are the bottleneck. We don't really want to
Mm,
look at it that way, but we absolutely are. We get in our own way more often than we want to admit, and so I think
mm,
that's a really big one. Systems and processes having the redundancy, and so one having someone else who can do particular task or functions within the business is good. Having two or more people who can do that is great. And so making sure that we're building in that redundancy so we don't end up in a situation where we hire somebody and train them and they're the only person who can do a certain task. So we have to
mm.
have that the redundancy I think is really good. And then just the successful delegation, kind of the leadership journey that you talked about, where you start with title and ultimately you end up where it's about purpose and the shared values, and you're working together as a team and everybody is working in their own genius, not because somebody at the top said to do it, but because they love what they do and they're contributing.
Oh wow. Thank you so much for your summary. That made my heart felt. I think my message is out now, so it's now up to you to really share with the world, and I really appreciate the time spending together. Mm,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you for being on SaaS Fuel. This is great.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Joanna, for coming on the show and sharing your insights and resources. You can learn more about Joanna at operationsgenius.net. As always, all links, highlights, resources, and full show notes are available at saasfuel.com. And be sure to check us out on YouTube as well. As always, all links, resources, highlights, and full show notes are available at saasfuel.com. And be sure to check out our YouTube channel. All sorts of resources over there for you, full podcast episodes with video so you can see my face, along with shorts, outtakes, training, and quite a bit more. Thought leaders share. Be sure to share this episode with someone who could use maybe a little more process in their life. And really, isn't that all of us? Everyone who shares this week gets an Operations Tamer toolkit, complete with a whistle, a leash, and a bag of treats, like incentives. And of course, a step by step guide teaches you how to train your process monster to go out there and fetch results and outcomes instead of devouring resources and creating confusion. Well, join us next Tuesday, where our founder is Alex Colici, founder and CEO of Umail. He'll talk about how a B2C play grew into a massive B2B opportunity and how both sides of the business feed each other. Absolutely brilliant. Plus, how his team is using AI to protect consumers, transform data privacy, and support carriers in the fight against robocalls. That just excites me. I mean, less robocalls is always a great thing. So Umail is a fantastic company. You're going to love the episode.
Thanks for listening to SaaS Fuel. Full show notes for each episode, which includes a summary, key takeaways, quotes, and any resources mentioned, are available at saasfuel.com. Be sure to follow and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're enjoying the content and getting value from these episodes, please leave us a rating and review at ratethispodcast.com/SaaSfuel. We'll be sure to read these out on future episodes.